everyone. Attorney Rachel Kelley here with another Family Law Friday. This week, I'm answering the question of, what should I do if I'm a stay-at-home spouse and I want to get divorced? So I have so many recommendations for what you should do at the beginning of a divorce, and I have done so many videos on that. And so firstly, go look at those videos. It doesn't matter if you're a stay-at-home spouse or you're not. A lot of my practical information related to all of those things applies whether or not you're a stay-at-home spouse. It really doesn't matter. But the one thing that I think is super important for stay-at-home spouses to think about when they're considering divorce is practically this. You are probably going to have to go back to work once you are divorced. And maybe not right away, depending on the facts and circumstances of your situation, depending on how much your spouse earns, depending on whether you're going to be eligible for spousal support, depending on how much support you're going to receive, depending on whether your children are spending their time between the two of you equally or if that's changing. So there are a lot of factors, right? But the reality is, most American households can't afford just to have one person working, let alone most American households cannot afford for the primary person in that household not to have any source of income. And so the vast majority of spouses that were stay-at-home spouses are going to go back to work at some point after a divorce. And so from my perspective, the most important thing you can do as a stay-at-home spouse when you're considering divorce or when you're thinking through what divorce is going to look like is just start thinking about what you want out of your future, what kind of work you want to do. Is it important to you to try to continue to remain at home with your children as much as possible? If that's the case, maybe be thinking about some career options where you might be able to work from home or flex your hours so that you can be there for your kids as much as possible before and after school. Maybe it's worthwhile to consider some sort of employment that's on the weekends so that maybe when you're negotiating your custody and parenting time arrangement, you can structure your work schedule around it and give parenting time up on those times you have to work and then work that out with your spouse in the best possible way. That really, to me, thinking very critically about, the practical reality of, okay, this is what my life looks like right now. I know we're not going to be married this time, probably next year. So what do I want my life to look like when I'm at that point? And that might require you to see a career counselor. That might require you to go to therapy. You may choose to work with a life coach who will help you decide what you really want out of your future. And I have sent clients to all three of those professionals because ultimately, sometimes you just need a little guidance to figure out what you want your future to look like. I hope that this tip was helpful. If you or someone you know has any questions about the divorce process or needs some assistance, please give us a call. We're here to help.